Is tracking really tracking with a Garmin satellite communicator, or is tracking more complicated than tracking? I know right now you're probably going, what the heck is he smoking out there in Colorado? And let's just say it's not that wacky Colorado weed. I've seen this and I've had a misunderstanding when I first started testing these satellite communicators, and I've had this question before and somebody sent me a question today. Does tracking mean that somebody that's at home, a family or friend, can see you, or is tracking on your device the same or different? And if you hit tracking on your device, will they be able to see it at home? The answer is maybe, because tracking isn't tracking. I hope I'm confusing you, because I want to drive this point home. If you want somebody to see your tracks being put down, that is different than you starting tracking to see your tracks on the device. Now, I believe that Garmin is actually alluding to the difference when they use activity on the 67i, for example, versus tracking. So if you're out and you're using your 67i, the Mini 2, the Montana 750i, or the inReach Messenger Plus, they may be all a little bit different, but when you hit tracking on this and you have not set up MapShare at home with any family or friends, then it's going to be an activity, really, and it's going to show you information. Now, there's different information that will be shown depending on what satellite communicator you're using. Check out this video right here and in the description below, where I went through a test and I looked at the inReach Messenger Plus, the Mini 2, and the 67i, and I showed just how different it is when you're tracking or looking at your activity on your device or on your smartphone. But again, if you do not have MapShare set up, or you haven't sent somebody a link to your location and you start tracking, it's really an activity and you're going to see it on your device or on your smartphone. And that's just for you. That's to help you use TrackBack to get back to safety. And that doesn't cost any money because it's really an activity. Now, where it's different and where it will cost money is if you set up MapShare for family and friends and you send them that link, and that is good forever, honestly. Because what happens is, I've sent MapShare to my family and friends a year ago, and if they click on that link, if they can find it, then they can actually see where I'm at and track me, and they can initiate a message to me from that link. But the problem is, can they find that email? Or maybe it's on their phone. And that's why when I go out on any significant trip, I always resend the MapShare link to my family and friends, so it's top right there in front and center in front of their face. And I always tell them too, it's like, hey, this is what that is. It's a link to the MapShare page. If you click on that, you can see where I'm at, and you can also initiate a message to me. Now, that MapShare link is really critical for initiating messages, so please don't forget it, because if something happens at home and they want to initiate a message, unless you already sent them a message, they cannot initiate the message to you. So MapShare links are critical. So let's wrap this up and be really clear. Tracking is not tracking. And I'm making a little bit of a joke out of this, but if you send somebody a MapShare link and they can see you, then they can see your tracks, and you will have to pay for that, but they can see the tracks. That's a different form of tracking. That's tracking for family and friends. But that's only one way of tracking. The other tracking is if you do not share it with family and friends and you just really want to see your activity, you still have to hit tracking on your device or on your smartphone, but then it really is an activity and you can see your tracks, and it can just be for you. Now, I always do this because when I go out on an adventure, I want to see where I'm at, and you get more detail when you start tracking than if you just turned it on and started hiking. I hope this has helped. There is tracking, number one, for MapShare link users who are looking at you, who want to see my tracks or your tracks. Then there's tracking on your device, which is really an activity. I want to bring this up lastly, that if you're concerned about cost of tracking, you can save money and not be spending so much on the most expensive satellite communicator or subscription plan like I do, where I have unlimited tracks and messages. You can check it out in the description below, where I show you how to save money on subscription plans, especially if you want to go out on a long adventure and you want to track and you want to message and you don't want to be worried about the costs. So check that out. Again, I hope this is helpful. I was actually having fun and trying to confuse you on purpose, but there's really two types of tracking. There's a tracking with MapShare, and there's a tracking that's an activity. All right, if I've caused any confusion, please leave comments below. If you have any questions, comments, criticisms, I'll take it all, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. Thanks for joining me out here in Colorado. Now get out to the mountains and stay safe.